morning. It's Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang Dragon Sword. We are finishing the Dragon Sword form. This week I'm reviewing a few things that are important for sword practice. And today I'm going to pay attention to the idea of that I've talked about this quite a bit, how we practice. That how we practice has a very definite, and I'm going to talk about this, relationship to how we remember. Let's get started. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand straight. Shoulders down. Pull up through the crown of the head. Open the arms. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Bend the knees and hands circle to the front. Back around to both sides. Up along the center line. Stretch out. Smile. Bend the knees. And again, keep the shoulders down even as you extend the arms. Open that area along the back of the neck. And stretch up. Elbows drop down, wrists, fingertips, hands return to your sides. Okay, so right along here and here. As we stretch up, reach out with the elbows. Even you're not going this way, really. You're not trying to do this, but that sense of reaching out. Drop this down, open it. That, excuse me, this area we use a lot in sword forms. All right, so what we do in practice, right? We pay a lot of attention to what we're doing. I'm going to do this move. I'm going to do this series. I've got this idea in mind. I talked a lot about that yesterday. Talked a lot about this idea that we want to connect the lower dantian with the sword so that as we're turning, whatever we're doing is fully connected through. It's not me trying to stick my hand out there and do something, right? It's fully connected, right? This is not that. I'm going to start here. This is my hand. Okay, this hand over here. Okay, this is not doing anything. Over here, not doing anything. Just my hand, my arm, mostly from the shoulder, but there's a little bit of elbow and forearm right here. That was it. Right? A little faster, a little more force. Second one. That turn, that's that inner workmanship that I've talked about. As we're moving, connecting that makes all the difference in the way that the movement is done and how we approach what we're doing. So here, right? Same. I just went up with it, right? I mean, don't want to hit the ceiling fan, right? That same turn is what I'm using. If it's not connected, it really does look disjointed. It will look more like this, where there's a stiff thing at the end, not an extension. That difference is something that we can most definitely see. Not sure how clear it was on video there, but you should have been able to see it. It's definitely something we can see in person, and it shows in the quality of the movement that's being done. Right? So that internal connection That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm teaching. So somebody else may want to look for the other thing. I'm looking for this. All right. It's important. Even in some of the external forms that are traditional and rely on a lot of external strength, that internal connection through the body matters. It really does. It's never going to be just about the arm. It's not. All right. With that in mind, what do we do in practice? What do we? Oh, okay. Start here. Right. Salute. Open. Yeah. Turn. I am going fast. That's all right. Keep going. Turn. Open. Right. Right? That's what we're doing in practice. No, it's not. No, it's not. The form, and I've talked about this quite a bit, but I'm going to do this again. The form gives us a method, it gives us the movements, and it gives us a character that we can learn. The movement has character, right? It gives us that sense of how this particular form works. How we practice gives us what we remember. It does. So if I do what I just did, I'm not going to remember any of it. I'm not. It's too fast. There's not enough emphasis on any of the movements. Even though they're correct, even though it's all fine, it's all good. And I was using some internal workmanship to go along with it. It's not going to be something that I remember. What might I remember? Stand straight, feet together. Breathe, pull up through the crown of the head, pay attention to position of the sword. Focus on the position of the sword. Where is the sword in relation to your body? Should be straight. Shouldn't be tilted to the back. It shouldn't be tilted to the front. It shouldn't be tilted to the side. You have to know where it is without looking at it. Yeah. So, here. Stay there. Don't move. Breathe, but don't move. Yeah, no, we're not moving yet. Stay there. Your muscles should be telling you that they would like to do something else. They'd like to move now. They should be telling you that. Don't move. Stay there. One more breath. And breathe in. Last time, breathe in. And breathe out. Relax. Just relax for half a second. Alright, now, same position. Alright? Question, did you hit your position or not? Notice that I corrected my sword at the second one. Just lean a little to the right back. Okay? Can you hit that position every time? Does your body, that doesn't matter where you know it's or not, does your body know where it is? Does your body know what it's supposed to be doing? Right? In this position, yeah, my body does know what it's supposed to be doing. Alright? It's supposed to be standing here. It's not supposed to be doing anything. Fingers straight, both hands. Both arms stretched down, shoulders down, pull up through the center, open the lower back, open the legs, pull up through the hips, pull up through the ribs, pull in through the waist. Lots of things going on, right? And breathe in. Breathe out. Sink onto the right. Turn, open the left. And turn again. Open. Turn. Sink. Up on the left. Down on the right. I'm going to turn around and do this again. And press up. And go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to turn around. Pay attention to each and every part of each and every movement. Feet together, stand straight. And pay attention to where your sword is too. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Sink. Open left. Turn the foot. Pull in on the toe. On the heel. Turn the toe. Center. To the left. Sink. Up on the left. Come across center. Down on the right. Come back to center. Up. Straight up. And turn 1, 2, 3. Stay there. Don't move. Stay there. Breathe. All right, relax. Each and every move, as much emphasis as you can put on it. Each and every move, not just this one, that one, we're not picking and choosing. I picked the ending movement to go with standing because these are both opening type movements. We haven't turned yet. Right? We're not here yet. Yeah. All right. Turn the waist. That sense of placement, position, where am I? Ground it in staying there. Where am I? Breathe. Where should I be? Where should I be? I should be right here. This is correct. Okay, should be right here. Okay. Now, can I bring this out a little bit? Can I come down a little bit more? Yeah. I still want some flexibility back here. I don't want this stiff and straight. So, still want a little bit of flexibility because I'm going to go back to it in a minute. Right? Relax. The more that I pay attention to that position and holding that position, right, as I'm going through practice, learning, where am I supposed to be? What's my body position? What's correct? What's not correct? Once I get to where I'm correct, stay there. Stay there. Hold it. Seriously, hold it. Let your muscles feel it. Wait until they tell you, I'd like to move now. They will tell you. Trust me, they'll tell you. That point at which you start to sense your muscles getting tired is the one that you want to pay attention to the most, because that's where you can retain that muscle memory for the movement. So later on, and this is I did this morning. Later on, you're trying to work through something. You say, well, I just, okay, now, but the next movement, man, I don't remember the next movement. I remember all of this, and I remember all of this, what comes after. I'm having trouble with this one. That has been something that's happened to me repeatedly. Okay? I'll remember this whole sequence, and then there'll be one movement that's not there, not quite. It just doesn't feel like that's what belongs there. That's what we want. So I was working through that, right? Working through that this morning. And I'm here. No. That's not the move that comes after. It's not. It's not. It's not. Right? Sword does have to come down to the side, over here. But I'm going to step here, come back, 1, 2, 3. Right? That's the ending. Do this. But I want to come back and do this. Here. Right? I try not to take the lamp out. That sense of what comes next comes from practice. When I was learning, I spent hours and hours. I did. I spent a lot of hours in practice. What does this feel like? How do I do this movement? What do I need to pay attention to? How does this work? I worked really, really hard. I wanted every muscle in my body to remember what I was doing, right? That muscle memory only comes from using all of the muscles. If I only, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna turn from here, right? And I'll do this on both sides. All right. So here we're at the opening, where my legs are, right? And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna change hands. Mostly correct, right? I'm here. And I'm going to turn and change hands. It's alright. It's okay. There's no character to it. There's not really much of anything behind it. But yeah, it's alright. The movement's correct, but it's not complete. That part of connecting everything, bringing all of that together. All right? Here. It's different. It is. That connection and the ability to build that connection is what we want to develop in practice. So as we're practicing, if I start out, I don't know what to do, what's the movement? All right, I've got to do this. Okay. And I need to change hands. Okay. Now, next level. What's the movement? Sink into the heel, turn the waist. Oh, that's not the next level. That's a couple levels beyond that. Sorry. That's the point. All right? As we develop the skill, as we develop through the body, we develop the ability to do that. If we pay attention through sink the heel, sink through the waist, drop the hip, turn the shoulder, turn the waist, turn the hip, go. So it's set up, set up, set up, go. That setup part, it's not outside, it's inside. It's not, there's no, it's not there. Right? There's no wobble outside. It just is not set up. It's set up. No, it's a washing machine. That's not what we're doing here. That sense of connection, where we're going with this, right? What we're doing. When we practice, especially at the beginning, the more we can bring to that practice, and particularly, and I'm emphasizing this because at the beginning this is what we're doing, the more muscle you can bring, not stiffness, not hard strike muscle, not disconnected arm muscle, the more whole body muscle you can bring, whole body use, you can bring to what you're doing. Later on, when you're trying, what was that movement? You know, I know I need to be here in order to get there, right? How do I break that down, and how does that muscle memory help me? I talked about that more than once. So I'm here, right? And I want to step back and do this. Here to here. But I know, because I practiced it, even though I can do this movement, even though I can do that, and it looks great, it's fine. It's logical, it conforms to what we're doing in the form, it has purpose, it's fine. It doesn't belong in that particular place in this form. It doesn't. Now, I could make up something and I would do something different, and I'd be repeating, perhaps, part of what I just did. Right? Right? I'd be repeating part of what I just did. Or I could think, well, what do I need to do? And why is this not, where do I need to be, right? Where I need to end up is here. No. Yes. Up, 1, 2, 3. This is more correct. I still need to check it, okay? But I end up where I need to be, able to do the movement that I know needs to come next, right? I know, muscle memory, I know I need to come down here, P, and turn to the back, foot position, step to come up. I know I need to do that. What I'm missing between here and here. How did I get there? How did I get from here to here? There's a gap. There's a gap. What do I do? That, and now what do I do? How do I look at that? I know this point, and I know this point. What are my options? Well, within this form, they're limited. And as I start opening, instead of closing my mind, saying, oh my gosh, I can't think about it. I don't know what to do. Oh, okay, that's closed. That's closing the mind. You're saying, and I don't know, I can't do it, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, yeah, I don't remember that part. Okay, I don't know if my body does or not, but I don't right now. Not sure. Well, I don't remember, that's not going to help. Say, all right, I don't remember. What do I remember? Well, I got to be here, right? And then, which foot has to be front? Here. No? Here. Because I have to turn to here. And from here, I can't do that. Right? I can. Here. That I can do. What is the most reasonable sequence to follow? What might I do? Now, I've got a double step. Right now I'm doing a double step at the end. And I'm thinking about that as, yeah, I don't think so. Don't think so. So as I come down here, right? This foot doesn't go anywhere. From here, turn to here, step around and up. There's no double shuffle step. Doesn't happen. How do I know that? Well, that's what I was teaching 2 weeks ago. Right? That memory of what belongs there becomes available when we get out of the way. So I'm not going to worry about this one little move that I'm not 100% sure of. I'm going to look at what's before what came before, right? This is before. This is not. This is after. That understanding, right? Here. What are my opportunities for how to get there? And as I thought about that and wasn't fixed on it must be, I have to do this, I wasn't fixated on it. I was like, how am I going to get there? muscle memory starts to come back. And now, oh, yeah, that was it. Right? Here. Step. If I'm here, I step back, right? So from here, step. I keep wanting to do this. I do, right? As I come up here, ready to step back. So left is up, left is down, right is up, left steps back. That series, right? That gets me, this right here, that gets me to where I need to go. That gives me the opportunity that I need to step, not here, here, right? And I tend, and this is me, I tend to emphasize my right side most of the time. I don't really focus as much as I should on my left side. So when there are movements that emphasize the left, I have to extra pay attention to that, right? So the step back, that's the only way you're going to get there. And the idea that as this comes down, the intent is P, split. I emphasized that a couple weeks ago in class too. It comes back. That's what we want. And this is today's lesson, is more about this idea of how we practice. What we're doing in form, what we bring to that practice, gives us the memory, gives us what we should pay attention to sometimes years later. That also gives us some opportunities for things that we can cultivate as we're learning. Okay, so I have a lot of memories that go with my learning Wudang Dragon Sword. One of them is an apartment in Zhengzhou in really cold November. I was there. It was cold. I remember being there. I do. And that significantly contributes to my memories of learning Wudang Dragon Sword. Where was I? What was I doing? What was the environment around me? What kinds of things were happening in conjunction with that learning? So that as I continued to practice, what was that foundation? What was I developing, right? One of the things that I did, and I was there to learn, so I was there for a couple of things. It was 99, we're supposed to be going to Wudang Mountain. We went, it didn't go anything like what I had wanted or planned, but we went. When I was staying in Zhengzhou, that opportunity to practice. Go to practice in the morning, go to the park, go to practice. I had a bike that I'd been loaned, and it took me about 40 minutes to bicycle to the park to practice. And practice for about an hour, 2 hours, depending on what day it was, and then go back and review in the afternoon, and review again in the evening, and write some notes, and try and pay attention to what I was doing. And the more I did that, the more ingrained the movements became. It wasn't accidental, right? And that gives me a couple of things that, and I'm going to point this out right now because it was something I was paying attention to this morning in my own practice. And as I go through in the book, there's going to be a book on Wudang Dragon Sword. It's coming, and it's not going to be that. I'm going to have commentary in there. All right. So part of my commentary has to do with what it is we're doing in practice. This idea here, back, out, when I was teaching this move, right, I came around here and here, sliced to the inside. And then I went back and I looked at some notes from Professor Liu, and I looked at some video that I have, and no, it's here. This morning, I was reviewing. Let me review. We're going to wind this up. Let's review what we've got. And that muscle memory, and I talked about this when I was first teaching this move, that muscle memory came back and said, no, it goes this way. It doesn't go that way. It goes this way. There's another one that goes this way. And I remembered again that when I was first learning, that was a distinction that I had to make. Which direction am I going? As I'm paying attention, that's what's my body telling me? My body's telling me it goes this way, not this way. Is that because, hey, more questions. Is that because it's what I want to do? Right? Is that because it's what I want to do? Because that's not correct. I know that. Yeah, that's correct. Right? Is it because it's what I want to do? Is it because that's what feels like what goes there? All right. Is that what belongs there? Is that what belongs there? That question, the orthodoxy question, right? Is that move, can I do it? Yes. Is that what belongs there? Maybe, maybe not. How do I figure that out? What do I remember? What does my body remember? And I know I'm saying this over again, but it's really, I'm trying to wrap this up, and it's really important. What do I remember about my first experiences? Because that's where the key comes for how do I move? What am I doing here? Right? If I'm here, And I'm going to go to the inside, to the outside. As I come up, turn around, right? Go this way. Yeah, here we go. 1, 2, come around, up, here, right? What if, no, gotta be, it's here. Interesting. So from here to here. That's simpler. I don't have to change direction. 1, 2. From here, slice, slice, up. I do 2, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. And no, I'm not going down, and I'm not working that real hard. That sense of, I'm here, to the inside, and up, right? Inside, come up. How simple is that? Ooh. If one of my criteria, it is, for what's more correct, right? If I'm going through the form and I'm looking at my practice and I'm looking at how I'm moving and what I'm doing, my criteria for what is more correct is simpler is better. No fancy stuff, no extra flourishes, right? What's better? Simple, clear, direct, purposeful. What am I doing needs to be clear. All right? I can make this outward circle clear. And in fact, we're here, jump, it goes to the outside. It's supposed to. That difference, inside, outside, I can do it either way. Which one is simpler? Well, this one. Right? Come around and up, turn it over and down. Versus out, turn it over, come, right? I can do this. That's all I have to do. The pattern works. I get there. I'm already there. Yeah, I know. I'm here, right? That, and I'm trying not to hit the wall. I'd like to have a little bit more room, and yeah, the idea is there. That sense of, I know where I'm repeating this, I know, but this, this direction, this direction. I have to get here. That's the only way I'm going to get here. I have to, right? There's no other. I know this has to happen. This is the direction for the sword, because then I come around here. How do I get from here to here? Well, I just did. Right? Here. Here. I can do that. If I'm here, I'm already on my way. Which one? My muscle memory is telling me that it's to the inside first and then to the outside. So with this move, it comes to the inside and up, and then with the jump, it moves to the outside. That's what my muscle memory is telling me. That's what my memory from the time I was learning and when I got it sorted out. This is what I'm thinking about it now. I'm going to go back and check again, the same as I'm going to go check on this one. Right? Sorry. So I'm here, step up, can't do that. Right? I'm here, I have to step back on the right, then the left. Step on the right. Step on the right. Then down. That repetition that I just did, step on the right. I'm on the right, step on the right. Step, up on the right. Down, up on the right. My paying attention to that step and that repetition is giving me the muscle memory for that move. That's how I learn. That's how I tell my muscles, this is what you're supposed to do. Right? That process, and again, I'm going to go back and check that. That process of learning, of developing, of retaining what we've learned. The more that you work at whatever it is, the more you pay attention to whatever it is, the more you use the full body, the more you pay attention to, yeah, this is starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it's okay, because that's teaching me, that's helping me find where those muscles are that I need to use to be able to do this. Right? So as you're practicing, paying attention to not only what you're doing, but how you're doing it. And not only within the context of the form and what the form, in this case Dragon Sword, what the form tells you you should be doing, but also in the context of how much effort you're putting to your practice, so that later, right? Right? I'm putting all this physical effort into my practice. I'm really sweating. This is hard. Okay? And I'm going to do it again. Here I go. Right? Now I'm going to come back later and I'm going to add, I talked about this yesterday, I'm going to add that character. What's the character? Right? What's my character? There's a character of the form and there's my character, what I bring to it. Right? Yeah, I might as well go ahead and use this one. I'm not hesitating. That part of my character says, nah, I'm not waiting. Right? Here. I change my weight, the way that I turn my waist, the point of attention that I pick. That's all part of my character. I started with this, because that's what I have to do, right? Here, change hands. This hand becomes a sword hand, and this comes around, right? Comes out, change weight. 1, 2. Step back a little further, I'm not going to hit this paint. Alright, 1 and 2. Slow that down. Remember that here. 1 and 2. If I don't know that, and if I don't know where 1 is, if I don't know where 2 is, the connection between them isn't going to be there either. Okay? How I get to each move, what I'm doing through each move, has to be incorporated so that eventually everything that I can do is part of what I'm doing. And that opens the door for me to do more. Twist. Goes this way first. On the left, 6 over here on the left, 4 on the back. Sink into the back leg, twist through the waist, turn the hip, drop the hip, keep the shoulders down, twist through the ribs, pull the sword in, keep the arms open. Know where you're going. Ready, and turn. That connection, we want that all the way through the form. As we start, right here, check your position, check your breath, pay attention to how your body is aligned. This gives you, right here, this one posture, everything else. If you're centered here at the beginning, everything else will stay centered. If you're not, it ain't going to happen. If you're not centered, that series that I just did, and I made it smaller so it fit in the room, that series wouldn't happen. There would have been a point where you would have been off balance, because I was applying, a reasonable amount of force through there. Understanding where your center is, finding your center, both along the center line here, along this center line, and through the lower Tantian. Finding your center, being able to use it, being able to combine it with all of the movements that you're doing, not just a couple of them, all of them, is one of the things that we want to develop and practice. The more we use that physical force, the more we pay attention to what has to happen through the physical body in order to do the movement at all, the easier it is to begin combining the breath and combining the internal energy. Jing, body, strength, lead, strength, and the internal workmanship from the spirit, the heart, the mind, so that the movement is fully connected and the sword does become a dragon. Muha Jian. Thank you for being here. Thank you for learning. I appreciate everybody that's been following this particular class. I will not be back next week with Dragon Sword. Next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'm taking a little bit of time off. I have a couple of things to wind up for Dragon Sword. I intend to produce a book on Dragon Sword with my commentary, so there'll be a few things. And I'm also working on the Qigong book. So next couple of weeks I'm going to take off. I will be back probably a little bit into August with new series, a new set of classes. It'll probably be short, and then I'm going to look at what's next, so I'll be able to announce that as soon as I have it. Qigong class on Thursday and Friday will continue, okay, and completely different. The other effort that I've been working on, channel15radio.com, is something that is taking my effort, and I'm hopeful that it's going to turn into something that is going to be more than what I thought it might ever be. Fingers crossed. All right. Thank you again for being here. I appreciate it.